would be, I see, Anya, are you ready? Yeah.
I hope yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can hear you and even we can see you.
Great. One moment, I will share my presentation. Can you see?
Yes, yes.
So, hello everyone. Once again, today I want to present you our work analysis of cultivated areas in Ukraine during the war. So, as you know, Ukraine was one of largest exporter of agricultural products to European countries and to Africa in particular. According to statistical data and according to our classification maps, to our crop type classification maps, only 7 southern regions of Ukraine saw the same area with sunflower and cereal crops as the other 17 regions. The same part of the country is under occupation right now or in the zone of active war actions in this year, in 2022. And the issue of food security and the availability of sufficient grain and is very important question in the world. In order to assess the losses in agriculture from the war, it is important to have the most accurate crop type and land cover classification, and to have the information about the crops that are grown on the field level. And this information can give an opportunity to understand how much the production of agricultural products will decrease or increase maybe, and will give an opportunity to evaluate other actually important economical aspects. So our objective of this research is first of all to create the crop type classification map for Ukraine in 2022. For 2022 and using it to determine the area that were not sown in 2022 at oblast or United Territorial Communities UTC level. The methodology for crop type and land cover classification map is based on the time series satellite data using. We use the Copernicus program satellites data. It is Sentinel-1 and Sentinel-2 with special resolution 10 meters. And also we use in situ data that we collect every year along the roads. The in-situ data is divided into two independent parts, and one of them used to train the neural network, and another one for using for testing the product, the classification map that we received. In this way, we get the land cover and crop type classification map. But this year we have some problems with in-situ data collection, and we have not possibility to visit the required area our interest. For example, it's southern region of Ukraine that are occupied, and on this picture they are highlighted in red. But we collected the data in the central of Ukraine. It's marked as yellow line, and in western of Ukraine it's marked as blue color. So in this table you can see the numbers of fields that we collected in this year, and the total number of them is 5,300. As I said, using collected in situ data and time series satellite data, we obtained the crop map for the territory of Ukraine, and the overall accuracy of this map in this year is 95%. In the table on the left side, you can see the accuracy by classes, and as you can see, for majority crops, the recognition accuracy is higher, more than 19%, and for minority crops, it is lower. For comparison, we used the classification map for 2021, which was obtained in the CreaDeas cloud platform as part of L4U initiative. About this initiative, told Volodymyr and Natalia. So this initiative began at the beginning of the war. So I will not say the same things. So on the basis of the received maps for 2021 and 2022, the zone area were aggregated by UTC level and on regional oblast or regions level, and here you can see the results of planet area aggregated for each UTC in both year with the same legend. But if you can see, it is quite difficult to understand what is the difference between these two pictures. Therefore, we calculated the absolute and relative difference between 2021 and 2022 years. To estimate the absolute change in crop area, we used the classification map for 2021 as a benchmark and compared the corresponding areas for 2022 with it. The comparison of absolute values was carried out at the oblast and at the UTC level of Ukraine according to this formula, as you can see on this slide, and the area crop is area of each administrative unit for separate year. And the next formula, it looks like a big picture, but it's formula. We used it to estimate the relative rate of area change, and the obtained negative values of the indicator delta absolute and delta relative indicate that in 2022, the area of corresponding crops or crops in general, decreased by the corresponding area in 1,000 hectares. So if we evaluate the total area of agricultural crops. We can conclude that the biggest negative changes occurred previously of the southern regions of Ukraine, and at the level of UTC, the area of crops was decreased in 1,165 from 1,779, and in another one UTC, there was a slight increase in cropland area. If the absolute estimate can cover some UTC which are far from the front line, the relative estimate shows that decrease of crops is exactly along the front line. Not exactly, but most of them are along the front line. In particular, in Kherson region, compared to 2021, the total sown area was decreased by 37%. In Zaporizhia, by 21%, in Odessa and Donetsk by 19%, and in Mykolaiv region by 16%. It's the biggest decrease in regions of Ukraine, of cropland area, and this region were the largest in terms of cultivated area. So it is a very big problem for Ukraine, and it is their deterioration. So it's a very big problem for Ukraine and for food security for Ukraine and for all of the world. By the way, in western regions of Ukraine, a slight increase from 3 to 6% of sown area is expected compared to 2021 year, and the main result is that across all of Ukraine, the decrease of agricultural areas is 3 million of hectares. It's 10% of sown area of Ukraine. So let's look at the July 2021 composite. It is based on Sentinel-2 optical data with special resolution 10 meters, and you say that everything is fine with it. And let's compare it with the same composite for July for 2022 year, and we see the following picture as on the slide. And first of all, we see that on the southern region, the level of vegetation is the level of vegetation has significantly decreased, and it can be due to decrease of area of summer crops that was sown on this in this territory, or it can be due to crop condition quality since to bad conditions. in this area in July, the summer crops should be green, and we can see this situation in 2021 year. And the second thing that we see on the screen, that these clusters of fields that have no clear boundaries, clear contours, and it can indicate that these fields were not cultivated in this year, and these clusters also end up of front line, and this just visual analysis to confirm our estimations and our results that we obtained. So as conclusions, I would like to say that the main result is that in 2022 the cropland area was decreased by 10%, and in the future we plan to analyze changes by area changes by individual crops. Also, we would like to implement fully in CREADIAS the classification technology for Ukraine. And also we would like to analyze crop yield damages and damages after the bombs and rockets at field level in operational mode. Thank you very much for your attention. Maybe you have some questions.
Thank you again, Anya. Are there any questions? Okay, if not, I see Amanda